Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Um, it's April Fool's Day, but I hope I hope no one's taking that too seriously today. Oops. Let's move my computer sound down. Yeah. I hope nobody's getting tricked today. I feel like we get tricked enough every day. So I hope you're all doing well out there. Susie's here. Hello, Susie. Leslie's here. Kimberly's here. Thank you all so much for being here and hanging out with me today. I hope you are doing great. It has been a busy day. I got up very early today. I couldn't sleep. Um, I I ended up breaking out in some hives last night. I think it's all the stress that's going through with my back and everything that's happening. Um, so I took some extra um, uh, antihistamines. That's the word. I was like, antiperspirant got in my brain, and I was like, that's not the right word. Antihistamines. Um, and I was up very early, and I did some work early this morning, and then I finally got tired enough, and I laid back down and kind of took a nap, and that was kind of nice. My back is feeling better again today, a little bit better every day, which I'm very thankful for. I'm able to get around mostly without having to use the cane, which is a good thing. Um, and it seems to be getting stronger and stronger as time goes on. So that's a good thing. Thank you all for your good thoughts and prayers and support, especially, those who are local who've been doing things for us. And we really appreciate that. Um, so, yeah, how's everyone this afternoon? It's Wednesday. I am not going to my pottery class, so I can be a little bit more leisurely today. I thought about totally moving this live to the evening, but I figured we should probably keep it in the afternoons. We do Wednesday afternoons, and for those who have a hard time watching in the evening, I wanted to make sure we caught everybody. I know our afternoon lives aren't always that well attended, but I wanted to still hold it now for those of you who this is a better time for. If you're out there, please say hi. Sorry, my throat is like, I think it's an artifact of my hives. I had some kind of an allergic reaction, so my throat is like right now. You can probably hear it in my voice too. But yeah, what's everybody else doing out there? I had some lunch today. I had a salad, which was nice. And came up here to the cottage to pull some things. I'm going to work some more on some packing and shipping after this. So I wanted to come up to the cottage and kind of just be here for the live. Andrew's not here yet, but he's planning on coming up. He's working on another project. He finished his project yesterday. And I don't know if he showed that. I have not been on Facebook much today. He may have put it in the Patreon. After we talked about the Patreon the other day, we had some people sign up. That's very nice. Thank you so much. If you're out there watching and you did that, that really helps to support what we do here at Allegory Gallery, especially the things that, like I said, weird things and odds and ends, and like the weed eater broke last year at the end of the summer, and so we're gonna have to replace that. So it's little things like that that support can go toward. And we don't have a ton of people in there. We have a good number of people who support us, but not everyone is in a paid tier. Some people are just signing up on the free portion of that, and that's fine too. We do lock up some of the posts to be for only those who do have a paid subscription to it, or a paid membership. But if you'd like to upgrade, you can do that at any time. And like I said, I think it starts at like $3 a month. I think it's 3, 9, 12, and 24, something like that. So we appreciate that. Thank you for those of you who are already signed up. And thank you for those who decided to sign up after we talked about it. It means a lot to us. Yeah, so I'm not doing my pottery class tonight because I don't think I could with my back. Sometimes pottery you got to put your back into it. I have no way to put my back into it right now. Um, so that's where I'm at. It rained a lot here. It rained all night. I could hear it raining, raining, raining. Um, but so far, we didn't get any kind of damage or anything like that, which is good. Um, Probably the store in Johnstown is going to have a little bit of water in the basement if it rained up there as much as it rained here. It doesn't always, it's not that far away, but sometimes the weather is completely different. So I don't know what it's been doing up there, but we'll see. We'll see in a day or two. Um, and then Yeah, the poor cats. I haven't been able to take our cats out because I can't gather them if something happens or if somebody comes or something comes. So they're sitting in the windows. We have all the windows, well, not all of them, but we have a lot of the windows in the house open because it's so nice here. I don't know what your weather's like right now, but today we are at 67 right now, which is beautiful. The high is supposed to be only 68, I think. So we're almost at our high today. What is the real feel here? Um, Feels like 65 instead of 67, not by much. So it's nice, but it is supposed to rain um, for the next 4 days. We're supposed to get rain, 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 not counting today. 5 days counting today. So I don't know what the weather's like where you're at, but here it is. It's very nice outside. But it's a little bit wet. It's a little bit wet. 80 in Philly right now, says Leslie. It's so weird, right? We're not that far away. It's like 4 or 5 hours away. But your temperatures are so much different than ours. Um, yeah, we haven't been in the 80s. We went in the 80s once. Um, Yeah, I just noticed you can see my lips swelled up last night with my hives too. That doesn't usually happen unless they're pretty hardcore. So I woke up with a puffy lip. It's mostly down, but you can tell it's still there a little bit. Um, and I don't know, like I said, I think it was the stress of everything that's been going on that did that because I did not eat anything out of the ordinary, really. Um, our friend brought us some Subway subs, and those were good, and we had those the other day. Did not make me break out, so that's not it. um and I've been drinking some of these sports drinks, and they don't say that they have preservatives in them. um and so I don't know if that's anything that happened on that, but um it doesn't happen after I drink them. It would just happen when I was kind of starting to relax last night a little bit. So I think it's the stress of everything. But um, yeah, that's what's going on. I wish I had more to report, but things are I'm taking it easy, so things are a little bit boring on my end of things. Um, I'm going to be doing more packing and shipping today. I stopped at the post office today and dropped things off. So some of you have some packages coming out. More people are going to have some packages coming out very soon. Once I start getting through some of that today, I'm feeling better, so I'm hopeful. Especially without having to go to pottery class, I'm hopeful that I will get a good number of things out to some people. It takes a while. It takes a while to sort everything and wrap everything. And I know Leslie knows she's packing a bunch of packages, right? Yeah, we wrap everything in tissue paper. I from everything that you all buy, um, if you don't know or if you're watching and you haven't bought before, um, a lot of people like to hold things for a little while and then I send one big package to people. So when that happens, we gather everything after every live and I sort it, and that gets an invoice number and your name on a ticket inside the bag, and then that goes into a box which is in my packing area to be gathered um, that way. And when I pull your box to start packing and shipping, I take everything out of all of the bags that I put things in for the various events you've had. I sort them kind of by like. So if you've got metal components and gemstones and pearls, and everything gets sorted by like, and then I wrap everything in tissue paper, and so that it hopefully doesn't, get banged up along the way. And so it takes a little while, but um, we're getting there. We're getting there. And I'm getting back to good as far as my back, I think, hopefully. Um, it's it's more it's more stiff today than sore or painful, which is I think a good sign. It's like it feels like I just worked out yesterday or the day before, that day or second day after a workout, and you feel that stiffness. So it's kind of like that, which I think is telling me the muscles are healing, and whatever happened back there is starting to work its way out. So I'm glad for that. I'm glad for that. But yeah, what else is going on out there? Anybody out there? Anybody doing anything? Anybody? um, yeah, that's what's going on here. Andrew, like I said, he's at home working on a project, and he's working on some decal stuff. Don't forget, Andrew will have an art drop this Friday. So in what, 2 days now? 2 days will be Andrew's art drop, and we will be even I don't know what all is going to be in there. I'm excited to see. So I need to make an event for that on Facebook. It's like this back thing has had me like completely out of it a little bit. We've been trying to um oh, just day job stuff, says Kimberly. And Leslie says, I'm just working, right? That's what I'm doing too. I'm working now too. This is my job. I love it. Yeah, so what was I saying? I don't know. I am we're gonna do an art drop this Friday. Facebook events, that's what I was thinking about. We are I have been trying to put Facebook events out so that people know what's coming up. I don't know if that works any better or not. I don't know if any of y'all even use the events tab that we have, or if they pop up for you at any time. I'd love to hear if they actually show up for you. Um, or if it doesn't, because I don't know if it makes a difference or not, to be honest. But with my back the way it is this week, I didn't put out um, I've been trying to put out daily things for the events. So make sure I get the event for Andrew's art drop out there, trying to make the events for all of these, streaming things, for all of our lives. And I wanted to go live on my own personal page again, like I did, I think it was last week, but I haven't gotten to do that yet. It's just thrown a kink in everything. But we're making it through the week. They do show up for me, says Leslie. Oh, good. I'm glad, because like usually I try and do it on Sunday when I'm at the shop, and I do like the whole week's programming on Facebook events. And that's good to know that they are showing up for some people, that it's not wasted effort, because it takes a while to do them, because of the way our schedule is and the way I have to schedule things through the streaming services. But that's good. I'm glad they show up. I'm glad it actually notifies people, because sometimes it does not. Sometimes it does not at all. So that's coming up. Andrew, if you don't know, is teaching a class at Peters Valley in October, and that is decals on enamel. So if you would like to take that class and you haven't signed up yet, visit the Peters Valley website and check that out. You can sign up. I think the dates are the 17th and 18th. Let me make sure that's right. It's somewhere in there. October, yes, 17th and 18th. Water slide decals on enamel. So if you'd like to learn how to do that, go to the Peters Valley website and you can sign up for that class. It's a 2-day class. It's over the weekend. That's in New Jersey. And so if you'd like to hang out with Andrew and learn how to make your own decals and apply them to enamel, Sign up today. I don't know how many seats are left. I don't know any information about it, but I don't know that he's been told how signups are going yet, because I think it just kind of got released a little bit ago. Leslie said, now there's just so much extra junk that Facebook puts in our feeds. I do miss stuff more. Of course. Yeah, it's not easy. It is not easy because Facebook likes to, like, I feel like I see a friend's post for every 5 ads or something like that. And there is this, like, you can tell, like, I don't know how, if they're just spending a lot of money. Um, but like, there's this one ad for, um, it's like, it's like that diamond, like it's metal sheeting that you can put in the back of like the beds of your truck, or I think they put it sometimes like on toolboxes, but it's this kind of diamond like pattern metal sheet, and there's this company that makes it. It is showing me that like every 3 minutes. I feel like I'm getting an ad for that, and I'm like, I have no interest in this at all, not at all. And the only thing I can figure is, I can't remember if it's been showing it to me before the D-stash or not, but I talked about in the D-stash, I asked the question if people have been camping before. And because I asked that, I think is why, like, so I looked up on the ad, you can check the ads and be like, why am I being shown this ad? And you can see, and one of them was a particular age group, which I'm in, but the other one was also people who enjoy camping. And I'm like, I don't go camping. I have never said that that is an interest of mine. But I think because I just mentioned camping in one of our groups, in the D-Stash group, it is showing me these ads for this stuff constantly. And I'm getting video ads, I'm getting reels. It's coming up as an ad in between the reels that I watch. I'm getting picture ads. It's like, it's all over the place. Finally, I had enough, and I hit the dots, and I'm like, just don't show ads from this company anymore. Like, I don't want it. And because it has nothing to do with, it's like when you want to really soup up your big truck and put in like major like a not a platform necessarily, but like a liner to the bed of your truck. And I'm like, I don't have a truck. I don't want to do this. But it's funny to me, and I was like, why when I'm not interested in camping? But then I remembered that I asked in the D stash, has anyone been camping before, and do you like it? And I think just because of that, like, you wouldn't think that something that you ask a question to people in a private group that you've created as the admin is going to um, force ads on your feed, but it does, apparently, because nowhere else have I ever talked about my love of camping or any such thing. um, so it's really strange. It is really strange how you can get ads. Like, Andrew gets the wildest ads in his news feed. And I know he does a lot of research on a lot of different things, sometimes historical things, and he shares things from museums and archaeological finds and all that. And I don't know what they pair him up with. But you know, it's really interesting to see how closely it monitors, I guess, what we do. And and it's like, heaven forbid you actually accidentally tap or click on one of those ads, because that's what I did also on one of those. So I don't know if you watch reels on Facebook. At the bottom of the reel, at least on mine, it comes up with these little ads that have this tiny little X, but it blocks like the bottom fourth of the screen. And so you can X out of them, but that X is so small, even on my larger phone, the X is so small that inevitably at some point you are going to tap one of those ads. And that's what accidentally happened for this company that I had to finally say no more ads to. I accidentally hit one of those when I was trying to close out the reel. And um, then it was like, it was already everywhere on my feed, but then it went wild. It went wild. It was showing up in my feed. It was showing up in my reels. It was showing up in the things on the reel at the bottom. It was showing up as an ad, as the reels, like in the middle of a reel. It was wild. Leslie says, I think it's creepy and icky. They are such greedy vampires. It is, and you can ask them not to track you, right? And most of the, like, I know Apple makes it pretty easy. You can say, do not track these. You don't give it permission, but it's still going to show you ads, right? And the ads that it shows you then may have nothing to do with what you actually like, which I don't know if that's better or worse. I guess they don't have as much information on you, at least. But like, if you're going to show me ads, at least maybe, like, the way I think about it is at least make them semi-useful, that I might see something that would be useful to me. So I usually allow the things to track me because of that. And I know maybe that's not the best thing to do, but um, I feel like they're going to see what we're doing anyway. So if they're going to serve me ads, they may as well be tailored to things I might actually enjoy, but not diamond pattern metal sheet. I don't want that. Susie says, I love to see Andrew's ads. I know, he gets the wildest things. He shows me these things, and I'm like, ooh, you've got some wild stuff coming up on your Facebook. And I don't get that. I don't know how he gets. I mean, I guess I get some of them, but I don't get it as wild as he does. Trying to stay hydrated, y'all. Um, that was a challenge for the first few days of my back because I had a harder time going to the bathroom. And so I slowed down on drinking too much. But thankfully it's getting better and I can drink a little bit more again. Um, but yeah, so it's a weird thing, right? It's a weird thing. And we were watching this thing. Andrew has this kind of um, coaching platform that we're a part of that helps um, with Instagram. He's much bigger on Instagram than I am or the store is. Andrew um, will sometimes hit it pretty big on some of his reels on Instagram. Like, for us, they're viral. Like, it doesn't take much, but and also he's been doing really well on Threads, which is like, I share all of our stuff to Threads automatically when I post. So for those of you who don't know, like, if you have business accounts, um, you can post starting in Instagram, and it will send those out to Instagram, Threads, and Facebook. And so I try to start most of our posts or reels in Instagram and allow it to kind of populate through. And it doesn't work. It's supposed to work the other way. It's supposed to work where you post on Facebook and it'll share it to Instagram too, but that's like hit or miss for whatever reason. So if you start on Instagram and it'll populate through. And so he has this meeting that he does every once in a while. We join in on the meeting, and they talk about things. It's somebody who's done really well on Instagram, and they share their knowledge and what they think is going on right now, and give helpful hints to things that we can do. And we were watching that, and they said that um, what can help you get a bigger reach on Instagram is actually just being on Instagram more. Like, I'm one of those people, I'll go on Instagram and I'll kind of swipe through a little bit, check a few things. If I'm posting for the store, I'll post and run, that kind of stuff. Um, because we don't get a ton of like comments on our posts or um, messages that we have to write back regarding anything. And so I just kind of a post and run kind of thing. But what they said is that the more time you spend on Instagram, just like browsing, just answering messages, the more that your stuff will be shown. Like there is a correlation apparently between you just spending time on the platform and how much they show your content to people, which is so wild to me. Like you think if your content's good, it should be shown to people, right? But if you don't spend enough time hanging out on their platform and doing things, answering questions or liking and commenting, um, your stuff will not get shown. It's so strange. And how they know all this and how they track all this and um, it's a different world, right? I grew up in the transition times, so going from completely analog to a digital life. And I'm glad that I had both experiences, but it bewilders me sometimes how much they track and how much they know and how they can pinpoint down to the individual user how much time you're spending there and how that equates to how much of your stuff they're going to show other people. I guess they want you invested in the platform before they start showing your stuff to people. And so I now have to, spend more time on there if I want our Allegory Gallery to do better. It's so bizarre. Um, and it's like, I don't know. You have to make that call like, is that important? And, in our digital life, in the business, yeah. Are there other things I could be doing? Absolutely. But if I don't do that, then I don't get seen. And then if I do other things and I'm not seen, then, it's like, who's going to see it? What's the point? What's the point of doing the other things? So it makes it hard as a small business owner to figure out where to spend your time. Um, and especially for one like us, where most of our business is online right now. Um, you know, I never thought that that was necessarily going to be the case because we started with a store. Um, we were going to start with an online business first and then kind of move into a storefront at some point, but we kind of reversed that and we started with a storefront. And for a long time, the store was like 80-20. It was 80% sales in the store versus 20 online. And now it's completely flipped and skewed even further. And it's just, it's wild to think about, I think. I don't know. Dominique says, hope your back is starting to feel better. It is. As I was saying earlier, it's a little bit tense. It feels like the day or second day after a workout, which I think is I'm hoping that's a good sign, that it's kind of figuring itself out. I don't have as much pain and I can bend a little bit more than I could before. So hopefully it'll work out soon. Um, so what are y'all up to? Dominique, what are you up to today? What's going on? Um, yeah, that's my little rant about Facebook, I guess. Um, but yeah, that's what we learned a little bit about that. It's good to watch. We've also been watching the Anomalous Society videos. Andrew is a member of the Anomalous Society, and he's been a member for quite some time. And they do these live programs. I think it's on every Tuesday because we just watched one yesterday, and then you can get the backlog of events um, that they've recorded. And so he's been a member for a long time, but they had his email misspelled. So he wasn't getting the announcements. He's like, how is everybody watching these? He's like, am I in the wrong tier or subscription thing that I'm not seeing these? And then finally he realized that they had his name or his email spelled wrong. And so now we're going through the backlog. Every night we watch one or two of the enameling videos while we do some stuff, usually while we're eating. And it's really interesting to see all the different things that people do with enamel. and how some people are very kind of precious with it, and they make these beautiful, like very bright colored and crystal clear kind of designs, and with the transparent enamels and the cloisonne and all that. And then some people are just like, I throw it on and I put it in the kiln, and if it cracks, that's even better. And like they're just really just, you know, going at it and just coating things with enamel. Like it's just so cool to see the various uses and how people design with it. It's kind of the same as watching you all when you show the jewelry that you've made. Everybody is different, and you start learning people's styles. Like the more that we see, the more we're like, I can, for some of y'all, I know that you made it before I even look to see what name is on the post. Um, and it's really cool to see that and kind of get a feeling for your personal styles. Dominique's gathering kits I sold yesterday and getting them ready to ship. Nice. That's awesome. Good job. Good job. But yeah, so that's what's going on today. Not a whole lot. Like I said, it's the afternoon. We don't get as many viewers in the afternoon time just because of, you know, people are working, people are doing things in their day. I kind of wish I could be outside doing things, but I cannot with my back right now. Um, but I'm not going to pottery, so I'm in no real hurry. Normally, I'm rushing around right now. It feels so weird to be able to, like, I feel like I need to be rushing around, but I don't. I can just hang out for a little bit. Um, so we talked about the drop on Friday. There's the D stash that's still out there. Um, so there may be some confusion with the D stashes. Um, maybe not. But somebody asked me if we still had something from the 1D stash because they saw it a little while ago, but it's not in the online store. And they were thinking maybe we sold out. And the things for the D stash generally never go into the online store. A lot of times things for the D stash are like these lives. We pull them from here at Star Cottage. Or sometimes they get pulled from the in-store inventory. And when that week is over, because you can claim for up to a week, they go back into the in-store inventory. So um, if you see something in the D stash that you like and that you want, it's best to claim it during that week. Generally, we give any extra discounts we give, any bonuses that we give during those times when we put things in the D stash. Those are valid for that week. It's like kind of a sale for that week, and then they go back into the on or the physical store, and they get their regular pricing. So if you're not a member of the Andrew Thornton Project D-Stash group on Facebook, go over there, Andrew Thornton Project D-Stash. Check that out. Go ask to be let in. Hit the button, say, let me in. Because it is a private group. And we do kind of guard that group a little bit. We need to know that we know you. Because we try and give good deals there. It's just like these lives. And that group, Andrew has had that group since before the store, which is why it's still called Andrew Thornton Project D-Stash and not like Allegory Gallery D-Stash. We've just built that group up um, from people we know and people who've done it with Andrew even before we had the store. And so we've never changed that, but that's why it's not branded as an Allegory Gallery thing, because we've had it for so long. More than 14 years, because the store is about 14 years old, 15 years old, going to be 15. Wow. It's wild. Vicky says, watching you on one device and Artemis 2 prep on another. Nice. Thank you for watching. Dominique says, it's pouring rain today, so no outside things wanting to be done. Yeah, it's pretty sunny here right now, I think. Am I still here? It just said it disconnected and then it came right back real quick. So I'm guessing I'm back. Yeah, so it's sunny here, but it is supposed to rain more again today and for the next 4 or 5 days, we're gonna get rain, 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 rain. Which does not help Andrew because he gets all congested and headachy when it rains. So yeah, it's no good. Hopefully he'll even out. It's mainly when the weather does that change thing. Today is a full moon, right? Is it the pink moon or rose moon? What is it? It's also, I think, called the seed moon. But I think today at 10:10 or something like that PM is going to be the actual fullest of the moon. It's going to be. So that's something in the air today. So if you're feeling it, which I'm feeling a little bit anxiety, I always get a little bit more anxious during a full moon and a new moon. The two of them, the two opposites, really seem to tug on me in various ways. But that's fun. We came out of the cottage last night after doing the live and working on a few things. Andrew finished up his one project yesterday, and the moon was above the trees, and we had these clouds, these big puffy clouds moving over the moon. It was so cool. It looked like like a typical kind of almost like a horror story thing. I don't know, but the clouds were moving over the moon. They were moving pretty fast. Um, Dominique says, "I see you." Good. Yeah, it went out and came back real quick. So I don't know what that was about. They just connected me back real quick, which is good. Um, but yeah, does the moon affect anyone else out there? Do you notice it? Um, I had particular times in the month where I was always getting anxious and I couldn't figure out why. And then I finally, somebody was like, "It's a full moon," or "It's a new moon," and traced it back to that. And it seems to hold. Today has not been too bad, at least. But yeah, it's not been too much of an anxious day. But there's a little bit of in the back of my mind that I'm trying not to let in. Um, not ready to tackle all of that along with my back right now. But yeah, so that's what's going on here. I keep seeing something flash, like every time I see something flashing on my screen. I don't know if my screen is going funny. Um, is it okay out there? I'm trying, it looks like it's streaming okay. Yeah. Picture quality looks okay, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Strange. Strange, strange, strange. Um, I've also been working on, so that's something I did. I got up very early this morning because I could not sleep at some point. Um, and I don't know why, but I was tossing and turning in bed and I said, "This is ridiculous." So I got up and it was like, I think 6:30, and I had just gone to bed at like 2. But I seem to be one of those people that prefers, if I could do it, the 2 sleep system, where you sleep for like 4 hours, then you're awake for a while, and then you go back to sleep for 4 hours. Um, that's what it kind of, what works for me, which is ridiculous because I can't actually do that most days. Um, but I did today, and which means I slept in a little bit too long after that because I worked and then I finally went back to sleep. And it has been, I got some stuff done, but I started working on working on getting. We keep talking about this print on demand that we're trying to do. And I started designing some shirts and some tote bags, and I got to run it by Andrew, and we got to talk about a little bit the because it's his artwork, and he has very specific. Sometimes he doesn't want certain things made into something, or used on a T-shirt or used on a bag. So I'm just kind of playing around with the system to kind of figure out how to design this stuff, and so I spent some time doing that. So we might have some print on demand stuff starting to happen in the online store. I hope people are interested in that. Um, we had that before with Society 6, And Society 6 made it incredibly difficult to actually find Andrew's stuff. Like, you could not search by artist. Um, it always had to be um, by design. So if you wanted one of his crow bags, you either had to have like the direct link to him, which I always lost track of, or you had to go through anything that that company sold from anybody that had crows and try and find his stuff. So it was not great. The products were really good. We were really happy with the products. We still use many of the products that we got. We've gotten phone cases from them. We got tote bags, and but it was so hard to figure out. So for people to buy from, and it wasn't hooked up to our website, so um, it made it difficult for people to for us to brand it. It was branded under Andrew, and so we were constantly sending people to a different website, and it was hard. Um, that also meant that we had no idea who our customers were, who was buying anything unless they told us. And so this one is going to be incorporated through our website, and we are hopefully hopefully going to be launching that at some point soon, and hopefully people will like it. We should be able to do I'm working on totes and t-shirts right now. That's kind of the vibe. But there are tons of things that we could get into, possibly like stickers or prints of some of his work, and that we would not have to do. So it's much easier, it takes the load off of me and Andrew of having to reproduce these things. And of course, we'd probably make more if we did them ourselves, but there's that thing between time and money, and what when you have time you don't have money, when you have money you don't have time, something like that. But anyway, um let's see, Susan's here. Hello, Susan, thanks for joining us today. Dominique says, I love a good spooky moon with dark clouds, right? Yeah. I have the comments here, but I realize that the background does not make it easy to read those. So I know you probably all can't see them, unfortunately. Um, Dominique says, I am for sure affected by the moon. I was also born on a full moon, so I wonder if it has something to do with it. I don't know. I don't think I was born on a full moon. I think I looked that up one time. Um, that's an interesting point. I wonder, um, let me see something. Let's see. Uh, so I was born on a waxing gibbous, apparently. So not a full moon. Not a full moon. Waxing gibbous, 66.77% illuminated. So there you go. So I wasn't, but yeah. Let's see here. And then anybody else? Oh, it says, I believe I'm yes, I believe I'm implanted by the moon, or I don't know, by the moon phases, maybe affected by the moon phases. I'm wearing some moonstone now and will post full moon art later tonight, says Susan. Nice. That's awesome. Can't wait to see. Hopefully I'll see it. Yeah. Full moon art later. That sounds interesting. What kind of art are you doing? Um, Dominique says, looking forward to seeing your art tonight. Me too. Chris is here with us. Hello, Chris. Thanks for joining us again. Good to see you here. We're just chatting. I'm in no hurry today. Normally I'm rushing. I'm like, we got to get going. It feels so weird to be doing this in the afternoon and not have that rush. But it's nice to get to hang out with y'all, and we're not rushing to do anything, because I am not going to pottery because I am not, um, my back is not ready for pottery. Not ready for pottery. Let's see here. Sorry, I just got a weird Junk mail. Boy, I don't know about you. I've been getting a lot of spam calls lately and junk mail lately, like weird stuff, like trying to fool you into thinking like there's a case against you, or like they show a case, here's your case number. And I'm getting those calls where um, it talks about like uh, if you don't call our office now, you will be served papers for court action and all this stuff. But the one thing about that is they're always, if this ever happens to you, I like to tell people the things that happen to us so that they're ready in case it happens to them. But every once in a while, um, every once in a while, I'll get a voicemail that talks about our office has been forwarded your case number, blah, 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 blah. And if you don't reach out to us immediately, legal action may be taken. And I get those every once in a while, and you know, it freaks me out for a split second because I'm like, oh no, what happened? What's going on? Um, and then you realize like they never give you their name. Like, who is this? Our office got it. Who are you? Um, they never tell you what the actual case against you is. Hey, Jen, thanks for joining us. Your account will be deactivated and all your files deleted. It's not that, but that's another one too. This is actually like they're trying to scare you that you're going to have legal action taken against you, and you're going to be sued, or you're going to be, you know, um, and so it's one of those things that they never tell you who they are. They never tell you who forwarded the information. The Sometimes they spoof a phone number that looks like it's from a legitimate company. But in the recording, they give you another phone number to call back, which is normally, I think, one of those long distance scams, where you call the number and you authorize, they make you say yes or no. They make you try to say yes so that they can use that against you as accepting the charges. That's a whole other thing too, which is wild to think about the scams that people do. Right away, they'll like ask you, "Is your name or is your phone number?" And if you say yes, they've got a yes on that's been recorded, and they'll use that as saying that you authorized this call or these reverse charges, and then you get billed these massive. It's so weird. Um, you got to be careful out there. Um, but yeah, I've been getting a lot of like email, like we need your signature on this form, and then it's a link to a website, or I never click the link ever, never ever. Um, but and like when Jen says, and the sender's email is totally sus. Yeah, like they can spoof a name, but if you actually use the drop down and check out the email address, it's usually like this long email that doesn't go to anything. Or it will be like if the website, well, they'll make, I get some from Microsoft because we use Microsoft's email system for our business email. And so sometimes they'll be like, oh, your bill is due. You didn't pay your bill. And it'll be like, when you look at it'll be like info at microsoft.expo.com. And they fool you like that because it looks like it's from Microsoft, but that's just a subdirectory on the expo.com website, for example. I don't know who expo.com is, but I'm just using that as an example. So it's a subdirectory. Like I could have a subdirectory, like I can make our email info at microsoft.allegorygallery.com and make it look real, or it could fool some people, but that's what they do. And so when you look at that email, when you drop it down and actually look at the real email, they can make it sound like it comes from Allegory Gallery, but when you drop it down, it's not at allegorygallery.com. It could be allegorygallery.expo.com or whatever, you know. Susan says, oh, not my art. I post full moon from various sources. Oh, nice. I like that because you are a good, I feel like you are a good collector or curator of things like that. I like to hear about your music and the art that you're into, and so I look forward to looking at that. Chris says, evidently, I was born on a new moon. New moons freak me out too. New moons, full moons, both those extremes, I tend to be super anxious. It also doesn't help that they do also coordinate oftentimes with when the most bills are due for us in the month. So, um, like right now, first of the month, obviously bills start coming in first of the month. That's a big time. It's like the first and like the 18th, 19th, like that middle area, um, are always the hardest hit, for for us. And that's when lately it feels like the new moons and full moons have been happening. Um, Susan says, has anyone gotten the speeding ticket scam text about tools from states I haven't visited in years? Yes. That's another one. Text messages, I even get emails about those. But yes, definitely the text messages. And they will say that and they have these nicely worded letters saying that you are caught and your license plate was captured, or all this stuff. And it's like, none of that's real. None of it's real. They're going to send you something in the mail if that's the case, right? They're not going to try and, like, how do they even find your email or your telephone number, right? Um, like, I don't know, like, I don't know that anything, I'm trying to think, like, if a picture of my plate was taken as a speeding thing in another state, I don't even know that my telephone number is in, like, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation connected to that in any way. My address is, but not a telephone number. So when you really stop and think about it, like, if they have a speeding ticket from you, like they say they took a picture of your plate or whatever, how did they get your number, right? Your number's not linked that way. So that's one of those clues. It's like kind of a dead giveaway. But people just assume sometimes that, oh my goodness, they have my information. That would be a hard get, I think. And it would have to probably go through your home state anyway. So it's yeah, but it happens a lot. It does happen a lot. Um, so I've been getting a lot of that kind of stuff, because we're a small business. Every single day, I probably get at least 3 to 4 voicemails saying that my business loan is almost approved. It's been sitting on their desk and I just have to call and finish it up and they'll loan me all this money. Um, and uh, One time, they sent this and I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what this is about. And they want to loan you tons of money for a very, very short period of time. Like to the point where it would be like impossible to pay that back. Um, and it's like, no way, no way, this is real. These are people out to get you. They're hoping to find people who are so, you know, behind or so, um, what's the word? Just in need, really desperate, I guess is the word, that you're willing to take that. But the amount of interest and the repayment plan, nearly impossible to, once you get into that, I can't even imagine what kind of worse situation you would be in. But I get at least 4, there's probably a voicemail in there right now that happened while during this live. I get usually at least 3 to 4 of those a day. Um, and they know my name and they know the business name. They know one or the other generally. And they say, you've started an application with us and it's sitting on my desk, and or we couldn't offer it before, but now we're ready. We can offer you all this money. And it's like, right. And I also, there's kind of a newer scam going around where they will call you, with what sounds like a loved one's or a family member's or a friend's voice. And but it's all AI generated. and they will call you and they will say, "Oh, I'm in jail. I need bailed out, or I need bail money, or something happened and I'm in the hospital and I need you to send money." And they will try and convince you to give them a credit card number or something like that, because it's all a scam. It's not really the person. It's not the person. And I've told my mom and I, we have a secret code word that if anybody calls her and it sounds like me, but it sounds suspicious, or she can't, figure out for sure if it's me, um, there's a code word that we have. And I told her, I said, if anything, if somebody calls you and says it's me and you're not sure, or they're asking for a ton of money, or it's some kind of dire circumstance, I said, make them give you the code word. And if they can't, if they don't know it, then it's not me. And the reason I did that is because look what I do every single weekday. My voice goes out to the world every single weekday. If you wanted to make an AI of my voice, it would be so easy to train that AI. Just let it listen to these things that I do. Um, yeah, just listen to these things that I do and record it and shove it into AI, and it will create a voice that sounds probably just like me because it has so much history to go by. Like I've probably said pretty much every basic word, that would constitute, um, a very easy to play English sentence. Jen says, yeah, I get daily voicemails offering loans of 60 grand or more with monthly payments of only $475. Yeah. The ones we get, though, the monthly payments would be more like it's like 60,000, but on a 12-month term, and you've got to pay it back in 12 months. And I'm like, that's like, that's not possible. That's like almost $6,000 a month. No, thank you. No way. But that's what we get. That's what we definitely get. And it's scary because they are preying on people. Like you wonder how many people they do get because they're desperate. We've had times where things are very, very scary and very lean. And some of those things, even though they're scams, they start to look like, well, I wonder if we could do something with that. I wonder if it could help. Thankfully, we've never done that. But um, yeah, it's scary, and it's scary to think how many people they fool into doing things. Um, there was another one that happened to a coworker of mine at one point. She got a virus on her computer, and they locked the computer. And they said that if you do not pay us so much money, usually thousands upon thousands of dollars, we will erase your computer. And um, this was one of those things. And oftentimes they will try to claim that they are actually like calling from Microsoft, or um, which, like, it's one of those things like, why would Microsoft block your computer? But it, and when you look up their reverse phone number, they've set up a website or that looks like the real website. It looks like a legitimate business. Or sometimes they will say that they are holding it hostage and they've got photos of you. Um, they have been able to access your webcam at any point in time, and they've got photos of you naked, or they've got photos of you doing things, or they've been watching your browser history, and they've recorded screenshots of what you look at, and they try and do that. And what ends up happening though is that, um, if I remember correctly, my coworker's computer actually was locked up. They did lock it up, and they said that if they don't pay, they'll never unlock it, and they'll show these things. They'll use your contact list and show everybody these things, and people fall for that. Um, Generally, generally they don't have, you would see if your camera turned on your computer because they have little lights now and they have to light up whenever the cameras turn on and all that. But um, I can't remember what we actually did with her computer. I think what we did is we used a virus program, uh, loading it at startup. I think we had to do, and we were able to get in and kill off that virus, or else we may have also deleted the whole computer and just restarted. I can't remember, but um, she did get her computer locked up, and it was a scary thing. Um, and it was a work computer, which was not good. But somebody opened an email on it, hit a link that they weren't supposed to, right? And that's what ended up happening. So it's scary what people can do. Um, that is one of the reasons I try to be very careful with emails. And if I don't know exactly who it came from, pretty much that email just gets trashed. I don't open links, and I try and tell people that too, but you never know. You never know what people are going to do. And, I always say it's best to err on the side of caution for that. Like if you're not sure, probably look into it a little harder, or, don't hit those links if you don't know what's going on. But, we all mess up from time to time too. Like I have had times that I've been like on my iPad and I've been checking email and I accidentally tap the the attachment and it takes me to a website. I'm like, oh no, what's going to happen now? But usually, thankfully, nothing bad or terrible has happened that way. But usually you have to do more than just go to the website. They're going to ask you for information or stuff like that. As far as my experience has been, it's never just like hitting a link and something bad, terrible happening. But I also have Macs and Apple products, and so it's a little bit different. Most Mostly because most attacks are targeted toward Windows users because there's just so many more of them. So there are things that if you do accidentally hit a link, that link may be something that triggers something on a Windows system that it wouldn't on a Mac system. And again, that's not because Macs can't be targeted. It's just that they aren't as targeted as much because they're not as popular. Anyway, getting into a wild ride there about scammers, but I like to let people know the things that I'm seeing in case you're seeing it too. And like I said, my mom and I have a code word. I think that's a really good thing to do with people, especially, if you have people in your life who aren't as technologically inclined. Um, it's good to have a code word that only you know with someone so that if something happens, it's real. Um, but yeah, uh, and that kind of idea came from um, I was watching this. I don't know. I think it was on YouTube. Maybe it was a special on TV. But they would they would send somebody to like pick up the kids from school and um, see how easy it was to get the kids to go with somebody else, even though their parents told them that you should never go with anyone else. And um, they would send somebody, and sometimes it was a family member, or sometimes it was a family friend that they would send. But they also talk about how, it can be somebody very close to you that grabs your kids. And so they always said that if you have kids, they should have a code word that they are not to go with the person unless that person knows the code word. And if they don't know it, then no matter who they are or how close to them they are not to go with them. Um, and so I thought that was a really good idea. Um, and of course, you change that code word every time somebody new. So the kids do have to remember the code word, um, but it is, I think, a good thing to make sure that nobody's taking kids that shouldn't be. But I translated it into kind of using it for the things like AI and scammers and stuff, because I think that's super important. Because especially for me and Andrew, our voices are everywhere at this point. We've been doing lives almost every day for what, 6 years? Since the pandemic, we've been doing lives. Um, and so uh, there, like I said, it would be easy to make an AI voice of me and call anybody and say that they're me. But anyway, yeah, that's that. I know. Weird talk sometimes, right? We're like a jewelry company and we get into all these different things, but um, it's happening to everyone. And I think it's good for people to be aware. And because I've heard horror stories about people giving up their entire life savings, or doing that kind of stuff, because they feel threatened, or they feel like they can't get out of a situation. So be careful out there, y'all. All right, I'm gonna flip the camera around and we're gonna take a look at some pretty stuff. All right. Hopefully you're still all out there. The numbers have been jumping around. I had like 20 at one point. Now we're down to 11. Um, Either they liked my tech talk and liked it, and then now that I'm done with it, they're gone. Or maybe they're like, what in the world is going on this channel? You know, it's normal. We get into lots of conversations. Um, Trying to stand. Oh, that's not easy after sitting. Okay, let's see here. Let me go over here and make sure I didn't miss any comments while I was chatting, because Facebook doesn't refresh comments for some weirdo reason. Oh, I did miss one of Jennifer's. Says scammers on business have been getting really sneaky. Like they change your CEO's email address by one letter and make it look like a thread proving payment for a bill. Yeah, it's wild, right? It's it's they're smart, I guess. Like my mom always says, can you just like get a real job and not like ruin people's lives? That'd be nice. But alas, some people take joy in that. All right, let's see here. Let me see if I've done these lot numbers before. No. Okay. We're going to use IOP. IOP numbers. Who's out there? Say hi. Let me know you're out there. Anybody still watching? What's going on? I know it's the afternoon. It's a little slow for an afternoon, right? This is a little platypus designed by Bob Burkett, cast in sterling silver. Sterling silver platypus connector. There's only one of these left. It's $25. That was an old price before the silver price went up, 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 up. Let's see. Susan's here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Jennifer says, I'm still here. Thank you for being here. So this is a platypus in sterling. I think these are so dang cute, but we've only got this one left. This is about, we'll say 11.5 by 28.5 millimeters. Look how cute he is, or she. And you've got jump rings on both sides. You could use this as a pendant if you wanted to, or a charm, or hang it this way if you want. Super cute. IOP 1, $25. Again, old price before the price of silver has gone up recently. Way up. Way, way up. There is only one platypus. There is only one platypus. That's right. All right. Hey, May. Thanks for joining us. Say, hey, GB fam, doing a cool down after a short workout. Nice. That's nice. This was $330. I'm bringing it down. This is the first time we have ever discounted this. I'm bringing it down to $295. This is an amazing Ethiopian opal strand, graduated faceted rounds. Look at that, natural Ethiopian opals, really high quality stones. That flash is real. That is not a man-made stone. That is a real opal, Ethiopian, tending toward the yellower side of things. Look how beautiful those are. Trying to see if I can move closer. I wonder if my seat goes up any further. It does. Let's sit a little higher. That'll help. Angela's here. Hello. Now everyone's coming in. Where'd y'all come from? What's going on? But look at that. Gorgeous strand. Real opals with bright fire flash. And first time ever discounting that from $330 to $295. And it also comes on a sterling silver lobster claw and sterling silver extender chain. 44 is the weight, either in grams or carats. I don't know what they measured that in. But there you can see, there's that price. That's the normal price. We're giving you a discount if you want that. This is 3 millimeters at the smallest to 6.5. May says, oh, it's rare to me to see faceted Ethiopian opals, right? Chris says, right, with all the work that goes into a scam, why not just get a job? I know, right? Also, I just want to make sure if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you are at the live point of the broadcast, all the way live, because you may be watching in the past and I don't want you to miss out on anything, right? So that is one of those available. We've only got the one, IOP 2. Isn't that a gorgeous strand? All right, next up are some beautiful granditerite. We had these at $60. I will take them to 40. Jennifer says those opals are so bright. They are. I mean, they are lovely. There is no, I mean, like you can't make that up. It is what it is, and they are stunningly beautiful. I've never put those on discount before, but I've got the one strand, and I figured I'd do a little bit of a discount for y'all if you want that. Otherwise, those will probably go into the physical store, or these I think actually came from Andrew's personal stash. So they'll probably go back to his personal stash. see here. All right. Next up, granditerite. Beautiful color. Beautiful stones. It's kind of like a tealy blue. And these are nice long strands. Let me see here. This. Come on. These are 14-inch strands of beautiful granditerite. And they were $60 a strand, now 40 for y'all. And they're about 4mm beads. 4.2mm beads. 2 strands available, $40 each. Okay. IOP4. Are these check glass beads? These table cut, check glass, vintage, really pretty. Again, there's that white for if you're doing cloud dancer stuff. 13.5 by 19.5mm. IOP 4. 1 strand available. Just one. Sorry, taking a drink, y'all. Okay. Jen says, I've never heard of granditerite before. Here's what AI says. Granditerite is an exceptionally rare, highly sought after silicate material, typically exhibiting vivid bluish green to greenish blue colors due to iron content, primarily found in Madagascar. Adorable stone is prized for jewelry, particularly in faceted, eye-clean forms. Rarity, often compared to alexandrite, makes it a valuable high-end collector's gem. Yep. And that's why I think we've only got 2 left of these because we're selling them at a really good price for the quality. They're very nice quality stones. Another one that was 60. And we'll bring it down to 40, which is an amazing deal. Are these labradorite faceted drops? Beautiful drops. Really high-end, high-quality stones. Check those out. You're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Lucky number 13 stones. And let's see, they are approximately 19 by 13.5mm. Kimberly says, love those, right? Aren't they pretty? Very pretty. $40 only, IOP 5. That's a really good deal for those. It's what, 30 some % off, right? Same on those, 30% off. Trying to give you some good deals today for hanging out with me in the afternoon. Thanks for being here. Hope you're enjoying your time with me. These are $9 each, IOP6. And these are a beautiful green glass with that beautiful finish. Kimberly says the flash is spectacular. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Check those out. I love these. Beautiful green. I should get my light a little closer here so you can see it a little better. There we go. Look at that patterning finish on the glass and that deep green glass. These are approximately 13 by 16 and a half. 3 strands available, $9 a strand. Hey, Kim. Says, wow, happy, gorgeous gemstone day to everyone. I know, right? Look at those. Look at those Ethiopian opals. Those lovely babies. Only 1 strand and discounted it today. The only time we've ever discounted that strand. Don't tell Andrew. They're his stones. But I figured I'd discount a little bit. We've got this sterling silver platypus connector. We've got the granditerite at over 30% off. 2 strands of those available. Somebody fell for it. So I got put into an email that is they carbon copied a bunch of people, and now people are like replying all to try and unsubscribe. I'm like, never reply all. Like, don't do that. Reply all is very much something you should use on like the most seldom of occasions, right? It's such a like, just hit reply. You don't have to hit reply all. Especially on a spam email. IOP7. Beautiful table cut check glass in this deep wine red color with that beautiful finish on the edge. And these are about 8-inch strands, the check glass, and about 14.2 millimeters for the stones. Stunningly beautiful beads today. I think so anyway. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put the platypus away. Nobody has grabbed that. IOP1. Super cute. Sterling silver platypus. That it was priced before the price of silver went way skyrocketing high. So if you like that, it's a deal right now. It's a steal right now. And then the Ethiopian, real Ethiopian opals, that high end stones with that color just blasting you. Like, these are sparkling this well under our lights here. Imagine that out in the sunlight. So beautiful. You don't see that quality around very much at all. Not at that price, especially that discounted price. And that discounted price is only good for this live. We will not hold that price for very long. And give it 24 hours or so for people to watch a replay. But other than that, it does not stay. Granditerite, beautiful stones. 60 down to 40 on those. Granditerite, such a beautiful stone. And IOP4, check glass. One strand of those left. That's the old vintage price, $14. So we're leaving that for you. $14 for that. Vintage check glass strand. All right, I'm going to move the bling bling labradorite over. Again, that's over 30% off right now, 60 down to 40. And I'll move these green check glass over and the red wine check glass over. Now I've got red wine stuck in my head. Used to love that song as a kid. IOP 8, $9. Oh, I've got two of these. Two of these. And these are these beautiful kind of amber-like check glass vintage beads. Love that shape. Kind of like pinched like that. Really beautiful. Two strands available. These are at their widest about 13.5 by about 19 millimeters. IOP 8. How you doing out there, Kim? What's your day looking like? What have you been up to? Let me refresh here on Facebook, make sure I'm not missing any comments again, because I did before. Okay, not missing anything there. Mace forgot to ask, how's your back, William? It's getting better. It's getting better. Thank you for asking. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show. I'm doing okay. It's in that phase where it feels like I just worked out 2 days ago and it feels stiff and a little bit tense, but I think that's the sign that the muscles are healing from being overworked or whatever happened to them. So I'm hoping anyway. Oh, Leslie says, have a good evening, William. I have to dip out. You too, Leslie. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your afternoon and evening tonight. IOP 9 are these beautiful stars, table cut check glass stars. It's a nice long, about 11-inch strand. Beautiful stars in green. And they're about 12.2, 12.3 millimeters. One strand of those, $4, IOP 9. Does it sound like it's trending toward recovery? Yes, I'm hoping so. Kim says, just came back from picking up groceries, getting ready for a couple of meetings tonight. Another 70-degree laid-back day in SoCal. Nice. Yeah, we're having a nice 67-degree day here. And it's not raining here right at the moment, which is lovely. Of course, I'm not outside, But that's also okay because I don't think my back could handle being out and about too much today. These are beautiful vintage freshwater pearls in this beautiful golden color. You get the strand of those. It was 22 for the strand, bringing it down to 18 for y'all today. And give you a little extra bonuses when I can. We got a good deal on a lot of our pearls. Sometimes we can, this is a 16-inch strand. Sometimes we can bring them down a little bit more. About 8.5 millimeters. One strand available, 16-inch strand, $18, IOP 10. May says, we got the spring rains the past 2 days. My plants love it. Yeah, our grass loves it. Our grass is growing so fast. And I'm like, it's going to be time to mow. It actually is time to mow, but because of my back, I can't be out there mowing. But definitely could use some mowing time. I open 11. $12. There are 2 of these vintage strands available. Vintage check glass, these green leafy beads. They've also got kind of like an AB finish on them, or like that platinum finish. They've got something to give them a little bit extra boost. Jen says those pearls look like they want to hang out with those amber glass. I know, right? When I saw that, they do. They want to hang out together. Beautiful green leaf. These are big check glass leaves. You don't usually see them this big. Vintage strand, of course, 16 millimeters by 25.5. 2 strands available, $12 a strand. Yeah, these look good together, right? They look real good together. Can make a nice warm feeling with those warm colors, right? Warm feeling bracelet or necklace. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of rain too, May. It rained, I think, all night long. All night long. Yeah, it's been a stormy few days here, and it's not letting up. It seems like it's letting up now, but we're supposed to get rain for the next 4 days again still. IOP 12 is this laser etched pendant from Andrew. This is in like a matte finish, so it's not a high gloss, which I think really helps to bring out the flower. And you can see it has an AG logo back there. Andrew made these a while back. We've got this one left. IOP 12, $20. Love that matte look. Matte lock? Matte look? Reminds me, we never finished the new Matlock. Okay, I'm going to put the Labrador right away. May says, I don't mind, especially since I don't want another drought, but some drivers need to take some driving lessons. Yeah, I would agree with that. I was driving here today and there was a car like right on me. And this squirrel ran out in front of my car and I had to slam on the brakes and kind of try to steer away from it. I don't think I hit it. I looked back in my rear view and I didn't see anything on the road. I hope it made it either under my car or turned around without me noticing. But it was very difficult to do that because that person was like right behind me, and I'm like, I hope they stop too. I hope they see they have enough um enough um enough braking power, I guess, or enough time. And thankfully they did. But they still then followed real close. You would think like after something like that happens, maybe it's a sign to ease off. But no, no, I do not. All right, I'm going to put these away. IOP6. Oh, thank you. First sale today. IOP 11. Sold one of the green leaves. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. And he says, I don't like those kinds of drivers. No, there's no reason for it. Like I always try to follow at least 3 to 4 car lengths behind somebody. And I don't know why. And they were in such a hurry. And then I turned into the cottage here. And what did they do? They turned in right at the next road up. And like all that rushing around for what? Kim says there's a project an old Bean Button mag I've been wanting to do, but couldn't find those large green leaves anywhere. Excited to see you have them. Let's hear it for vintage bead inventory. I know, right? Oh, that's so awesome. I hope you'll share that. You can share the project and what you do with it. That's awesome. I like when that happens. See, we were meant to be tuning in today. Okay, we had this at 40. I'm going to bring it down to 32. $32. Never reduced this one before either. Chris says, oh, we get redneck tailgates on our very twisty, curvy, hilly roads here in rural Kentucky. Yeah, like we have twisty road. Like there are always twisty roads, but also large fields where deer are inevitably going to be running across the road. And people don't even think like that could possibly happen to them. Let's see. Susan says, I hate tailgating, right? Why do it? I don't understand. May says, here it seems to be some type of delivery driver or ride share. Oh. Huh. We've had a lot of weird delivery vans showing up. So this one is irradiated quartz. They don't do this anymore. And it gives a really pretty finish on those. But they're irradiated quartz. And it's a process that they used to do that they do not do anymore. And you can pretty much only get it on vintage beads. But look at that pretty AB that it gives. And I think these were originally smoky quartz. Normally we see it on regular quartz, but this is a smoky quartz, and they're so pretty. Vintage strand, only one available. 6.3 millimeters by 8.2, and the strand length is about 13 inches. That vintage 13-inch size. Oh, we sold 9. Thank you so much. Yay! Getting a few cells in here. Thank you. Thank you. I never know on these afternoons because they're always typically slower. I don't know why. I guess a lot of people are at work, which it does make sense. Can't watch at work. Hopefully people watch the rewatch because I'm giving some really good deals and I know some people might really like them. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm looking at some of the beads next to me. that I never even knew we had, and they're hanging here. They've been hanging here for forever. Um, I didn't even know we had them. They're so pretty. Crystals, different kinds of crystals. Um, oh, I gotta stand up. Oh, okay. Making my leg go to sleep the way I'm sitting. Okay, let's see here. What's next? How about some aquamarine? We had these at 28. I will do them at, let's bring them all the way down to 20. I think I have 2 of these available left only. I'm really trying to give you all some really nice pricing for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it so much. You all hanging out, not making me feel alone. Only the lonely. Looks like an oil slick. Oh, these? Yeah, they're so pretty. We have some people that tend to buy up our irradiated quartz every time we have it. But I don't think everyone's watching right now. Beautiful aquamarine, smooth rondelles. Look at that quality. There's some of that moss aqua in there too. Beautiful. And let me get you a size on these. They're about 4.5 millimeter to 5 millimeter. And they are, whoa, they're about 14-inch strands. 14-inch strands. 2 of those available. Beautiful aquamarine, smooth rondelles. Okay, let's see here. Jen says, I love looking through my stuff and finding something that seems like I never saw it before in my life. I know. That happens a lot here for me, though, because Andrew especially sometimes has things that I haven't actually seen. And I'm like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? And why haven't I seen it before? That's when he tells me, don't worry about it, William. Don't worry about it, William. Let's see, I have 3 strands of these. This is IOP 15. These were 24. Bring them down to 20 as well. Got 3 strands of those. Come on. IOP 15. These are Herkimer diamonds. Herkimer diamonds. Let me pull, there's 1 strand there so you can see what they look like by the strand. Drilled lengthwise. Beautiful. Herkimer diamonds. 3 strands available. Each strand. I just had one separated. Why can't I get it again? They're just about 16-inch strands. And they're now only $20. And the beads are about 3 millimeters by, see if I can get in there. Come on. 3 by 8, approximately 3 by 8 millimeters. IOP 15, Herkimer diamonds. All right, so let me put away this. I'm surprised nobody bought these together. Isn't that lovely? For $27, those two things together. Beautiful. Yes, me. All right. Anybody have anything planned for the day? Or is everybody's day mostly over at this point? I don't know how, like my day is just getting started. But what about the aquamarine with those leaves? With these? Absolutely. Good call. Especially those greener toned ones. Yeah, super pretty together, right? Super pretty. Good call, Jen. Kimberly says, I am in the fence for the lab. Oh, the labradorite? Yeah. It's a good strand. It's a good price. We had one similar to that in the online store, and somebody grabbed it up, I think, at the 35% off price. I don't know if somebody who is watching or if it's somebody totally different. Can't remember now who grabbed them, but they got a good deal. So these are also a good deal with almost that same pricing. I switched spots. What did I do? Oh yeah, I did. Thank you. Like I didn't think that was. I was like, my bags don't line up the right way. Why is my bag out of order? I've switched spots. TOP11. I did sell one of those green leaves. Okay, let me move these down. Okay. Susan went grocery shopping earlier, in for the rest of the day. Nice. Let's see here. IOP16. IOP16. Are these electroplated lava drops? Give you that nice burst of gold color, but in a super, super light drop. So it gives you a nice metallic look, but you know how light lava is. These are super lightweight. I love, love, love these. Kind of a rustic looking gold. 12.3 millimeters by 16.2. IOP 16. Let's see. From 62 down to 50. Remember, short time only on these prices. Oops. This is a green apatite. Green apatite. Beautiful translucency. Beautiful little cubes, well, rectangle-ish, on sterling silver lobster claw. And these are graduated. So they're graduated from about 3.2 to the widest here. Let's see what we have here. To about 6.4. So about 3.5 to 6.5, somewhere in there. IOP 17, beautiful green color. Lovely, lovely. I actually love these two together. I think that looks really, really nice. That gold and that green. Those colors go well together, I think. Now, yesterday we had some of the fiber optic beads, and let's see here. And so I wanted to show you these. I'm going to give you a good price on these. Was 24. I'm gonna bring them down to 14 for y'all. These are these fiber optic glass beads. Somebody grabbed the gray ones we had yesterday, and I thought maybe somebody would like some beautiful colors too. Fiber optic glass beads, graduated, all different colors. That is about a 17-inch strand, and they are graduated. Let me pull it over here from 6 millimeters up to the biggest is 16. 6 millimeters to 16. IOP 18. $14. May says, oh, I missed that. Dinner with visiting aunt and uncle. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. It's nice to be able to visit with family sometimes, right? Where did that go? There it is. IOP 12. Andrew's pendant. IOP 13. I'm very surprised no one grabbed the radiated quartz. It's so fun. It's that dark rainbow. People love dark rainbow, and especially at that discount, 20% off. Great colors of fiber optic beads. Yes, they are, Jennifer. Yes, they are. They are beautiful colors. Fun. They're fun colors, right? Nice spring, summer, bright, lush colors, which I love. And there's a lot of citrusy stuff in there, which I am particularly jiving with lately. I'm going to put away these aquamarine. Still have 2 of those available. IOP 14. And I'll put away the Herkimer diamonds as well. Got 3 strands of those available. Beautiful strands. I love those. They're great for anybody, but also men's jewelry because they've got that kind of rugged cut up kind of look with the black in there. I don't like to gender things, but sometimes it's helpful for people who are selling, right? I think people should wear whatever they want, but no. Okay, this is a cabochon. Was 28. I'll bring it down to 22. This is beautiful. Natural, non-dyed cabochon. IOP 19. Was 28, now 22. This is 27 by 35, we'll say. 27 by 35. Got curious about a Herkimer diamond, Jennifer. Have you not heard of those before? Yeah, they grow in a double pointed shape. So they're not actually faceted or hand carved like that. They grow like that. And there are only a few places in the world where they grow like that. Let's see. Got two of these. Jennifer said, I've seen them but never looked into them. Yeah, it's good to learn, right? Good to look into stuff. Learn something new every day, or try to, right? These are these hand painted opalescent beads. They're on opalite. They're hand painted. The hole goes through lengthwise. These are done on one side, and then they're sealed as well, so that the design is preserved. They're $7 each, and I've got a pair of them. So if you wanted to make earrings, that would be really, really pretty. I had 3, but one of them got chipped, probably before we even got it, because it's not in the bag. So there's the other one. And these are 13.5 by 18.5 millimeters. IOP 20. All right. This was 96. I'll bring it down to 86. This is another more rare, especially at a beautiful quality. This is hemimorphite. Hemimorphite, these simple cut nuggets. Really beautiful stones. Hemimorphite, excellent quality, vintage strand. Got that vintage quality again. All different sizes, but just simple cut nuggets. IOP 21. Was 96, bring it down to 86 for you. Oh, and this strand. Let me see here. This is about a 12-inch strand. Yeah, 12-inch strand, hemimorphite. Vintage quality, very nice stones. IOP 21. Big stones too. And these little ones. There's a few smaller ones, but Nice selection of stones on. IOP 22. Are these whoa, copper spacers or just copper beads? They're a faceted copper. And they are a pretty large hole. I can't get in there to measure, but look how big the holes are. Because that's a pretty thick string going through. And you can see nice large holes in there. That is a 8.5-inch strand, and they are 4.2 millimeters. IOP 22 was 12, now 10. All right, let me put some more of these away. And put the plated lava. Was 18, now 14. I'm gonna put away the appetite. Lowest price ever on those was 62, now down to 50. I'm gonna put away the fiber optic beads. Great deal on those. Get the whole strand for $14. Super fun to play with. I love fiber optic beads. They got that cat's eye flash to them. So delightful. And we'll move 19 over. It's this beautiful cabochon. Move these over. Move the hemimorphite over. And the copper. All right. These were 38. I will bring them down to 28. How's that? These are black spinel. Jen says, continuing my educational searches, hemimorphite is sometimes sold as Chinese larimar, but the two types of stone are totally different. Yeah, they're totally different. And hemimorphite is pretty rare. I think in the 14 years we've had the store, we've only had 2 or 3 strands of it. It's not something that seems to come up very often. And I don't know quite why, but let's see here. Oh, we just sold out of 14. Those are the aquamarine. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. These are black spinel, faceted drops. And we just had some black spinel microfaceted strands the other night. And I figured if some people grab some of those, so these might be a nice addition to that because they would go really well as spacers with these. If you wanted to make like a bracelet, I think that would be cool, right? A cute little bracelet, some spacers in there. $28 only. Oh, let me see if I can get you a size. These are really hard to size. About 7 millimeters. 7 by 5. 7 by 5. IUP 20. IOP 23. I keep wanting to say IUP because that's a university near us, the Indiana University of Pennsylvania. And it makes me want to say that. IOP, IOP, IOP 24. Let's see here. This was at 110. And take it down to 98. Very good price on this. This is a vintage strain. And this is Himalayan rock crystal. Himalayan rock crystal. Big beads. And these are this melon cut Himalayan rock crystal. Big beads. Beautiful melon cut. Slightly graduated. They go, now there are these little wee ones up here. Those ones are about 10.5, but I'm going to start with the actual neck size, which is about 17.5 up to about 19 or 20, 17.5 to about 20 millimeters. Not a huge size difference, but they slightly graduate up to that. And this is a big strand. This is about a 19 to 20 inch strand. And those would make beautiful pendants, just each one of them. And let me see here. This is got so comes to about $3.60 some cents per stone. Really not bad. And I didn't even count the two small ones. Two small ones. If you count those, 98 divided by 29, $3.38 a bead. Really great price. Himalayan rock crystal. Wowzer, says Susan. I know, right? Isn't it a magnificent strand? Feels like one of those like collector things, right? Just a very cool, chunky, and hand carved into these melons. I love a hand carved strand. This is $13. IOP 25 are these beautiful green with that metallic finish, table cut check. Susan says it does have collector vibes, right? And I think these together, look at that. They've got that metallic on there, and that's so pretty together. May says, did you get that from Andrew's stash? Don't ask questions, May. Don't ask questions. Just go with it. Just go with the flow. And remember, these are special prices for you all. We always do this as best we can. And in about 24 hours, we generally, for very special prices like I'm giving, we generally give you a 24-hour period. And then the price goes back to normal, back to retail. This was 24. Do it at 18. So, oh, don't get yourself in trouble. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The less we talk about it, the less we have to worry about it, right? This is um, vintage check glass, and it's this beautiful yellow. Actually, I'm not 100% sure this is check. This could be a different glass. It is a vintage strand, though. I think it's vintage check. It just seems like an awfully long strand, because it's about 15 inches. But look at how beautiful those are. I'm loving the bright colors right now, and that's maybe just me because they're not selling that well. But I am loving the bright citrusy colors, and it's kind of my vibe right now. And these are these faceted rectangles, and they're about 9.7 by about 14.8. 9.7 by 14.8 millimeters. Really fun strand. All right, let's put this cabochon away. Very nicely done cab. Oh, get in the bag, come on. Sometimes they don't want to go back in the bag. They want to go home with somebody. IOP 20, hand-painted stones for $7 each. That's on the opalite. And let's see, where's that bag? Hemimorphite was 96, now 86. Look at that beautiful sea blue. And we'll put away the copper beads as well. There's a little extra room on here. IOP 22. Love that strand. I love the kind of rough style. Some of y'all the other day got that beautiful pyrite, those large faceted pyrite vintage rounds. And I wish I had them here to show you, but I bet that pyrite fit in with these would look really, really pretty. Hold on, I'll be right back. I think I do have a string. Yes. You. So this is the pyrite. And look at that. Look how fun those are together. They're very close to a similar size. And that would be a really fun thing to put together. It's gonna be big beads. Big beads. You gotta be able to wear the big beads, but that would be super funky cool. Or what I would love is actually a bracelet. I think that would be pretty awesome. I know it's big and chunky, but I mean, it's just so cool. Like that is a statement. That is a statement. I love this kind of old looking vintage stuff like that in its natural form. All right, IP27. These are these Korean Millefiori beads. We've had these in blue. Now these ones are in red, in a kind of red glass, which I love. Made in Korea. I believe these are Korean. Millefiori. And these are 7.5 by 16. And they're a vintage strand. It's about 16 inches. 16-inch vintage strand. Only one of those. I think we've had some really fun stuff today. I hope you've liked it. This is vintage German glass. $4 a strand. That's wildly low priced. Look, that's the old price, $4. No way if that goes into the online store am I marking that at $4. Vintage German glass. It's kind of twisty design. And these are 5.5 millimeters, and they're an 8-inch strand. 5 of them available. IOP 28. IOP 29. Brass spacers. Oops, I didn't put the price out. Don't be crazy, William. $14 for these. IOP 29. Beautiful large hole rings. Ring spacers. These are Ethiopian. Kimberly says, I'm still thinking on IOP 5. Nice. May says, very much admiring the beads. Good. This is a 14-inch strand, and these beads are 2.7 millimeters. One strand available, Ethiopian metal beads. All right, let me put the black spinel away. Black spinel, beautiful, very flashy. One strand available at $28 instead of $38. And I'm going to move this down, make room for one last lot. Let me see here. Sorry, I need to untangle this. It's in with something else, but it's not the same. Okay, these are 14 for the strand, IOP 30, and it's this strand of crystal. Very odd shaped vintage crystal strand. Very cool. That's cool. Trying to show you like the actual shape. It's such a weird shape, but they've got this hint of like a copper on the back as a coating that shines through. Really pretty. And these beads are 18.5 by 13. One strand available, $14. And that, my friends, is it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. I know the afternoons are a little bit slower, so I really appreciate all of y'all who can come out and hang out with me. And please share this with your friends. Let them know that we exist as a little bead business. And if they need little crafting supplies, we've got it for them. But yeah, that's it for me for today. I will see you back here tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time again. And if you have any questions, you know what to do. Send us an email, info@allegorygallery.com. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye, everybody.